So this video is about engine oil, uh, commonly recommended for Peugeot engines. Mostly the modern Peugeot engines, not like the newer ones. Modern, yeah, but not the recent newer engines. I'm talking about EW engine, SU engine, TU engines. So let's get to it. Now it's about this particular oil I hardly talk about. Most Nigerians hardly talk about it because they don't have access to it or they don't even know about it. It's about Total Quartz 7000 10W-40. Now I want to talk about two oils in this video. That is Total Quartz 7000 10W-50 and Total Quartz 9000 5W-40. It's more like a comparison, some sort of. Now, now people might say, oh, what are you talking about? We have Total Quartz 7000 in Nigeria. Yeah, but the thickness is not the same with this 10W-40. The one we have in Nigeria is 7000 15W-50. So what I did recently, last week or 2 weeks ago, so I took my time. In fact, I did a lot of research. I took it more like a project to research on engine oils that Peugeot recommended, and then other brand of oils, that can also be used on Peugeot engines that have the Peugeot engine oil codes. That means you can use those ones. So, or have the Peugeot certification, oil certifications, or approval. So, I now came about the 10,000, the test, no, 10W-40, the test that we are done on 10W-40 by various individuals, most of them on videos and some articles and the rest. So from the test done on the 10W-40, I learned that that's a very good oil. I mean, very, very good oil. I mean, to the point that it's not just that it appears, but it kind of perform. I won't say perform. It protects the engine much better than even the Quartz 9000 5W-40. I was even surprised. So it's not like the 5W-40 is not a good oil. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying, in terms of protecting, especially to prevention of wear, the cam wear, the camshaft wear, those lubricating part of the engine, the 10W-40 tends to prevent friction, or more like friction or wear, whatever you want to call it, more than the other. So I was surprised, especially when the oil has become hot. Like I always say, the Peugeot engines, I don't know about other engines, but I know generally applies to almost all ICE engines, that's internal combustion engines. They all perform better when the engine oil has warmed up or become hot. So that 10W-40 kind of performed very well than most of the oil, not just Quartz 9000 5W-40, most of the oil that I also checked that can be used on these engines, the EW engine, TU, and the rest that are not even Total. The 10W-40 perform much better. So, and I came to the realization the reason why Peugeot actually made it like the standard oil for the all EW engines, ES engines, the ES engine, including the ES9J4. Yes, the first ES engine. The three of them, ES9J4, ES9J4S, and ES9A. So made it like standard. So I was like, wow. Unfortunately, the oil is not in Nigeria. The one we have in Nigeria is also for 7000, but sticker. It's thicker. And me, okay, all the research I did, I couldn't find any test on that 15W-40 for 7,000. No, I don't know. It's as if it's only Nigeria that is even using the oil. But of course, I know probably the Middle East or some of these countries that have high temperature. Probably that's what they have over there. So, but well, maybe I could see tomorrow. Somebody that did a test on the oil, but from so far it was only 10W-40. So, the 10W-40 is not available in Nigeria, and it doesn't make sense to me personally. Reason being that the 10W-40, from even the weight, and then those last few, that 40, it can handle Nigerian weather. In fact, that's even the best. It's not like, I don't know what they think Nigerian weather is. That if we do get 60 or 80 degrees Celsius here. Well, I don't. Maybe in some other parts of the country, like maybe the far north, maybe they get close to 50 degrees Celsius. But even if they get close to 50 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius can also handle 50 degrees Celsius. I'm talking about 40, the oil that has the last figure, that's 40. Minus 40. That 40, not minus, I mean slash 40. That 40 can handle 50 degrees Celsius. So I don't see why they wouldn't, because the reason why I don't use that for 7,000 is, it's not because of the 50. It's because of the 15. There's the time I used it, I think once or twice in my 406 visits. The oil temperature gauge on the instrument panel, you just, before it comes up or get to where I needed it to be for me to start pressing the throttle harder, it takes it longer time that before I know it, I've even gotten to where I'm going. Unlike the 5W-40, I'm not saying it warms up faster, like very, very quick. No, but at least it doesn't take that long. So, because of that, I kind of shy away from that 15W-40. It's thick. So what it means is anybody that wants to use 15W-40, that's for 7,000, 15W-40. If you start your car, you have to be driving slowly. Don't push your car hard. It makes more sense. That's why I did a video where I advise people, if you are looking for a Peugeot car to buy, or any PSA vehicle, find out if that particular model you are interested in, if they have a particular specification, like model that comes with oil temperature gauge on the instrument panel, go for that one. Personally, in fact, that gauge, oil temperature gauge, is more important to me than the coolant temperature gauge. I had to look at the coolant temperature gauge, because that one, worst case scenario, even if my iron doesn't get there, it will start getting close to where it will overheat, it will warm me. It's not like I don't look at it, right? But because, number one, I know the state of my cooling system almost all the time, so it's not abused. It doesn't mean that a part on it will not fail, but I had to check there, so my eye is always on the coolant temperature. The only time I take my eyes off, my eye is always on oil temperature. The only time I take my eyes off that gauge is by when it has now gotten to where it's not safe for me to start having fun. Then I may not mind about it anymore. I can shift my focus elsewhere. Because if your needle on that temperature gauge is down, and you start to rev your engine beyond 3,000 RPM, guy, you are killing your engine. No. Let it be this. I've done a video of it before, but maybe you've not seen it. This time you are it. It's probably the first time you are hearing it. Do not rev your engine. Do not race. If I just said race, they use the word. Don't race your engine when it's cold. As long as that oil temperature gauge is still down maybe especially in that blue zone, don't race your engine. By race means don't start pushing the RPM close to 4,000, 5,000. Don't do it. Oil works better. In fact, that test I did, that research I did also confirmed what I've always known. Engine oil works better when the oil has become hot. So at that time, the temperature is showing that the oil is cold. The temperature is cold. And if oil is cold, what it means is it's thick. Even if it's 5W-40, after a while, when it becomes salt, it becomes lighter. If it becomes cold, it becomes thicker a little. Same thing with 0W-30. All engine oil becomes lighter when, in fact, there's another way to even find out what I just told you. Well, if next time you want to change your engine oil, just use this strategy. You just top your, maybe put 4 liters depending on your engine. Maybe if your engine takes like 4.5, just measure it. Know where it stopped. Just mark where it stopped. Even if you go beyond 4 liters, just mark where it stopped. As after you gauge it, see where the normal level. Drive the car that day. Maybe you did it in the morning, drive it all through that day. Maybe I drive it for like 50 kilometers. You will see that the next morning, the gauge will go up a little. By the next morning, the gauge will just, it might be significant, it might not really, unless you pay very well attention to it, you'll find out that it has gone up. Sometimes you can even use, like if it's Peugeot 406 or Peugeot 307, the phase 1. It has electronic oil level. The 607 phase 1 has, but because that one is more like analog, it may be a little bit different. But this 406 and 307 is digital. So when you switch on, let's say you switch on ignition, and after you've put the engine oil, just leave it at, maybe, I think it has like 5 marks, like it looks like 0000. So don't get to that 5th zero. Just leave it like maybe the last zero before not the last one. Just leave 1 mark while you're topping. Just be checking. Once you get to that 4th mark, stop before the last one. Stop, just so that 1 mark will still leave. It's found out that if you drive the car for like 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers, the next morning, if you switch on ignition, the other full mark will show as if you added more oil to the engine. That's what I'm saying. That once you use it, becomes lighter, it tends to go up a little. That once you run it will, then after a long time, it will thicken again. It now look as if it had reduced a little. So it's better don't rev your engine. The reason why I prefer lighter oil is because of the way I drive. For example, for this my V6 engine, the ES9J4S and the ES9A, yeah, 10W-40 is also recommended and the rest. But personally, I prefer 5W. Unless if you have 10W-40 here, I probably will start using it based on what I have found out. But the reason why I prefer 5W-40 to the 15W-50, even if the 2W-50 is recommended, but why I'm using the 5W-40 is because I drive very, very quick, right? So when I'm going out, start the car in the morning, I know, of course, I can't drive the car quick at that time. It can be quick because they are mostly, like my 406 usually manual, so all I do is just use the gearbox gear, to match the very speed you are doing, the movement of the car. The gearbox you use will not make the car even quick, even when the accelerator is low, the RPM is low. So yeah, I can quick, but I won't like push the car. That's what I'm saying. So meaning that, okay, since I enjoy driving quick, at least I won't need to wait for a very long time for the oil temperature to come up for me to now start enjoying the car. Unlike if it's thick, it means I have to wait. Maybe I'm doing 50 kilometers that morning, It means if I use the 15W-50, it may not even come up until I get to that my destination. Unlike 5W-40 that after a while to come up. So meaning that sometimes I'll be, if I'm using thick oil of 15W-50, I'll be tempted to start pushing it hard when the oil temperature is still low because of impatience or whatever, and then I'll start damaging the engine. So that's the thing. Even though this video is not about 15W-50, but I just wanted to explain to you, if you are using 15W-50, you have to be careful. Don't drive it. Just wait, observe it, wait for the oil coolant temperature to come up. Then the oil temperature will gradually start coming up, until once you exceed that blue zone on the oil temperature gauge, then you can start pushing. Me personally, I even wait till it get to like 90 degrees Celsius on the oil temperature, then I start pushing. Knowing that in fact my engine works better once it get to like 120 degrees Celsius, the oil temperature. That's when the engine will become very quiet and pulls very, very smoothly. So I wish I have my way. I will start bringing in that 10W-40. Guys, I'm very serious about this. If you have a way of bringing it, you want me involved, yeah, please, you can reach me. My contacts are there, my phone number, my email is on the video description. Or if you can, I will support you. Bring it in. I'll mark, I'll tell the whole Nigeria, say this is available, especially the project users, and make sure it's original. Of course, Total may not be interested. Total Nigeria, if I go to them, they will like, oh, come on, their own Quartz 7000 is selling. Who cares about my specificity on 10W-40? So yeah, that's my findings. I wanted to share it to the world because the 10W-40 is still in production. People are still buying it. It's just not in Nigeria. 5W-40 is also very good. Now the difference between the 10W-40 and probably the 5W-40, where the 5W-40 has advantage over is the longevity, the oil change duration. That the 10W-40, 5W-40 can last longer, and also even apart from that, there's a kind of speed if you will be doing, like I know if somebody that is doing like 200 kilometers per hour, it's possible that the 5W-40 will serve you better at that time than the 10W-40. I can't really say for sure, but one is lighter, so at that speed it doesn't need a thick oil. If you are pushing your RPM close to the red zone, you need something lighter to be able to handle it, so it doesn't wear off the engine quicker. That's what I'm saying. So I hope this video makes sense. I'm not saying don't buy for 7,000 in Nigeria, which is 15W-50, but I'm telling you, the 10W-40 to me is better. That's what I mean. To me is better. Until I see a review, or not necessarily a review, people that have conducted tests on 15W-50 for 7,000. If it performs as good as the 10W-40, then I'll do a separate video and say, okay, fine. But other than that, I would only talk about the one I know. Yeah, I know people that use for 7,000, 15W-50. I'm not knocked. The engine is still running. Nothing. In fact, funny enough, even has a Peugeot approved code for these engines. Is it not 2230? I think. Like this one. Okay, this was 9,000. Right? I see it here. This was 9,000. Now, I want to know if which engine that is recommended for. Come here. When you come here, I don't know if you are seeing here. You see where it's written. Let me see. Peugeot PSA Peugeot Citroën B712296. So that's the Peugeot certification, and this 2296 is oil that is called. That's a code for EW10. That's oh yeah, you can use the EW engines. The EW engines are excluding EW10A and EW7A, but every other one you can use this one. At least I know EW7J4, EW10J4, EW12J4. Yeah. Then even the V6 ones, the 3V6 engines, that's the ES engines. Yeah, you can use this one. So likewise, the Quartz 7000 10W-40 is B7, that's PSA Peugeot Citroen B71 2300. Yeah, that's the code, the approved code for that, and they also can be used on I think you also find that 2300 on for 7000 15W-50. Maybe you can search for it, or just go to any total section in Nigeria. That's like what you will likely find at the back. So I think it's also, I've forgotten. I know I've checked it before and I saw that truly it has a approved code for some Peugeot engines. Just I've forgotten if it's 2300. I think it's 2300, unless maybe it's something else. So it's not like, yeah, I think it's approved by Peugeot for some Peugeot engines, except that I prefer other ones also approved for these engines, since that one is thicker. So I think that's all for this video. If you have any questions, you can ask, put in the comment section, and I will respond. Alright.